brake to get to the spot ahead of her, which she did, but in the process, the woman couldn't apply her brakes in time and ended up rear-ending him. William jumped out of his car, enraged, and began yelling at her. "Are you serious? Stay at home if you don't know how to drive, stupid woman." "Excuse me," retorted the woman. "We both know what just happened. You were the one who was rushing, which is why I didn't notice your car. So calm down, and it would be better if you apologized." "Apologize?" William laughed. "Hello, you know what? You should be home taking care of your children and husband, not out on the road like this. I will make sure you learn your lesson. I'm calling the police right now." "What but?" After making a scene, William called the cops, and the woman was issued a parking ticket because his car was indeed damaged. William was overjoyed that he had the upper hand in the situation and couldn't stop smiling. Miranda Carter. He quipped as the cops walked away. "I've heard the cops call you by that name. I'll let you in on a little piece of advice. Never, ever think you can win against a man. I hope that makes sense," he said and walked away to the restaurant. That night at home, he couldn't stop bragging to Gracie about how he taught a rude woman a lesson. He had no idea he'd be running into Miranda again. The next day, William was at work when he received a call from his teen daughter, informing him that Gracie had been rushed to the hospital after fainting in a grocery store. William dropped everything and dashed to the hospital. Luckily, it was close to his workplace, so he was there before the ambulance arrived with Gracie. As he got out of the car, though, he got the shock of his life when he saw Miranda seated beside Gracie in the ambulance and later assisting an orderly in pushing her stretcher inside the hospital. "You, what are you doing here?" he whispered angrily. "I was just. What the hell are you doing here?" he grumbled, louder this time. "What did you do to my wife?" "Your wife?" Miranda sighed. "No wonder she's in this condition. You better listen to what the doctors have to say." "Just shut up. I know you did something to her. Is this revenge for what happened yesterday?" "Ah." Before Miranda could say anything, a doctor grabbed William's arm. "I'd appreciate it if you could keep your voice down, sir. It's a hospital. Your wife, by the way, had a heart attack, so we admitted her right away. Please complete the paperwork at the reception. Also, I don't like eavesdropping on other people's conversations, but you should be grateful to her for bringing your wife here. We heard from one of our orderlies that she assisted your wife." William looked at the doctor and then at Miranda helplessly. "A heart attack? What do you mean?" "It happened because your wife has been really stressed about something. A typical case of fatigue and anxiety. Just hope she regains consciousness soon." William was filled with guilt. He knew Miranda had assisted Gracie, but he lashed out at her instead of thanking her. He also realized Gracie was in this state because of how tirelessly and hard she had to work to ensure everything was perfect for him and the kids. That night at home, he realized how ridiculous he'd been all along, and he resolved to make things right. He applied for a leave of absence to care for the kids while Gracie was in the hospital, but he realized it wasn't going to be easy. The children complained about having burnt toast for breakfast and unpressed uniforms for school. Evenings were ruined by uncooked vegetables and salty soups, and William realized how difficult a homemaker's job was. It was unpaid and the most stressful thing he'd ever done. He realized he shouldn't have been so demanding and begged on his knees for Gracie's forgiveness. Fortunately, Miranda arrived with a bouquet of flowers for Gracie that day while he was by her bedside. William apologized to her as well. But unlike Gracie, she didn't let him off the hook so quickly. "Don't be sorry, William. Be better. The way you look down on women is pathetic. Prove that you've learned the lesson. Take care of your wife and love her." William was embarrassed. "I will, Miranda. I am really sorry about the whole thing. You know what? Let me make it up to both of you ladies. How about dinner at our house when Gracie's back home? She's getting discharged this weekend. I promise I'll be cooking and making all of the arrangements." "Here," he said, handing her his address and phone number. "I'm hoping you want." "Well, I'll see. I was just here to see Gracie. Goodbye." She left without a proper reply to William. But on Sunday evening, She arrived at their house with a bottle of wine at 7 p.m. sharp. I hope I'm not late, she teased William. I thought it would be better to surprise you. Ah well, William looked around the kitchen. I wasn't prepared, but it's okay. Come on in. That night, William had to prepare dinner for everyone by himself, while Gracie and Miranda watched a movie and sipped wine. The dinner was as expected, a disaster, and Gracie and Miranda didn't hesitate to pull William's leg about how badly he'd done his job. They ended up ordering pizza